Welcome everybody to Qbaby's Let's Be Honest. I have my special guest.
Christina, what's up, guys?
And today's topic, we're going to talk about friendships. You know what I'm saying? Because this is one that you said you want to talk about. So
I know I brought it up. It got suggested to me by Kayla. Hi, beautiful lady. I appreciate it. I told her I would say hi to her. So.
Okay.
Throw that out there. She's been my best friend for a really long time. We've known each other since I was like 14, 15, something like that.
Okay.
And I'm about to be 36.
Okay.
So,
what's your take of what you wanted to talk about as far as friendships?
look, I'm not really sure. So we got to figure this out. But I know that, like with me and a lot of other people I know, all of us go through a lot of stuff with our friendships, almost, if not more than what we go through with our life partners. No matter, who that is, if it's a husband, boyfriend, whatever, you go through stuff with them, but at the same time, your friendships will drag you through a lot of other people's drama, a lot of stress. A lot of people don't think about that, and there are a lot of people that don't do that to their friends, and that type of situations aren't going on, and that's great. But there is a lot of people that go through so many different situations, and your friends are involved in that. They love you, they care about you. Most of them are like family.
Okay.
So they're right there with you rocking that boat.
I would have to truly agree. It's just like, I think for some people, when it comes to friendships, is that as you elevate yourself, some friends end up getting left behind because they want to be more in a stagnant way. I call it like they slow down on just like say for instance, if you had a friend that you used to kick it with all the time, and their thing was partying and having a good time,
and you slow up on doing that, and then they don't really kick it with you anymore. I've been through that because me and Cody, my husband, like we used to always be the place where we did the parties because one, we wanted everybody to be safe.
True.
And two, like most everybody else has kids and we don't. Like I've raised kids and helped raise kids, but I haven't had any personally myself.
Okay.
So we're not a couple that has kids. We have 4 dogs that are our babies.
I can understand that.
But when you slow down, you start personally growing and working on different things with yourself, then other people that don't want to grow or don't know how to, or maybe not even know that they need to, of course they're going to get left behind because you're going to be trying to do more positive things. And they're going to be trying to do their thing, which isn't what you really want to be a part of. Okay. And there's no compromise because it's not, they may or may not look at it like it's not a marriage, it's just a friend, so fuck it. You know what I mean? They may have the love for you, but they might not have the care or even the knowledge that it's that big of a situation to try to work with you on that or amend it. So that could stop you from being able to move that friendship further, no matter how long you've known them.
Yeah, that's true. I think what it comes down to, when you break it all the way down to like its base level, is that we all are gonna have our own things that we elevate in, and for some people, like they plateau. So for me personally, like I'm focused on my purpose, which is, bettering myself. If I can get myself in a position where that when I'm like, when I'm at the financial stage where
when you get where you're trying to be in.
Yeah, pretty much.
I feel
and it's just like, once I get there, then I can spend more time with my friends, with my family, and things like that. You know what I'm saying?
So you have to be around the right kind of people for that, though. Sure. So that's why I said I completely understand what you're saying on people being left behind, because if somebody is your friend and then you start trying to elevate yourself, trying to get where you want to be financially, mentally, everything, even spiritually, if you're spiritual like that, like you want to be on every level the best that you can be as a person, and you start working along that path. Not everybody's going to look at that and understand, oh, well, he's not coming out with us because he's trying to better himself, or she's not coming out with us because she doesn't want to be around all these people because she's working on herself.
Yeah, like
people don't, in general, tend to think that way. It is starting to get better and more open about stuff.
I have to agree.
As a society that we live in, but it's not something that you really experience a lot with people. So if they're not willing to support you and be understanding, then how do you go further in that friendship?
Like, I agree, like, totally on that. It's just, even I had to learn that with me trying to elevate and better myself.
Sorry, this starts driving me nuts, bro.
No,
I just got it and it's driving me crazy. Anyway.
No, it's just like, for me, it's just like, for some of my friends, you know what I'm saying? I know they probably think that, oh man, he don't want to fuck with me no more. He don't want to kick it with me no more. You know what I'm saying? Or he think that he's better or something like that. And then I find out that as I'm trying to like better myself, that I even found like one of the people that used to be as close to me as a brother, you know what I'm saying? And I found out that he was envious of what I was trying to accomplish.
Because he feels bad about himself in some type of way. So to me, I look at that like, and I'm not saying that something's wrong with everybody that has a problem with you. People can just not like you because y'all don't vibe.
True.
And that is facts.
Yeah.
But for somebody to look at you when you're trying to just grow yourself so you're a better person and be like, oh, well, I wish I had what he had, and in a negative way, not a positive way. Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, somebody that's like that and they're like, I want to do that, how do I do that? Yeah. You know, type shit.
That's different.
Or want to even maybe team up with you and get knowledge on how to better themselves.
True.
If they're liking the path you're going on, then that's understandable. But if you come at somebody negative with it, then it's like, what is wrong that you would not take it the other way and you're taking it negatively? Yeah,
and that's where I like kind of like understand that, like, as you grow, far as like falling onto your purpose in life, that yes, you're gonna have to shed a skin. I call it shedding the skin because it's kind of like when you shed a skin, you let the things that are holding you back.
You will do that your whole life.
True.
Your whole life.
Yeah, like that's the reason why the most successful men have said they only have a select few friends that they can actually say that truly stuck with them through all of, you know what I'm saying, good and bad.
No, trust me, I already know. And what's funny is when it's not really funny, but you know that's the saying or whatever. Mm-hmm. But whenever I was a teenager, I was 14 or 15 at the time, and my mom's really good friend, Amy, that she was around back then, she was like roommates with her and her husband and stuff, and she told me one day whenever we were in the living room hanging out, because I used to hang out with her a lot, and she was like, you'll be lucky if when you're in your 30s, you have more than 5 friends that you trust and you have around. And I will be 36 this September. And I can tell you right now that is the most true statement ever. Because I was fortunate enough, and I say that because it helped me grow as a person. It wasn't good to go through. I have been in situations with people I knew for a really long time that was like family to me that I've had to like just let go of because either they didn't want to stay rocking with me for their reasons, or I felt like they were toxic and I had to let them go as a friend to me and not be around them anymore. Okay. I've been through all of that and then some, because for some reason people can't just be understanding and like get along, and I hold grudges like everybody else, so there's people that I just don't want anything to do with anymore. Yeah. But I don't, like, for me, it's like, okay, we went through that situation and you didn't want to be my friend for your reasons, and it didn't work out on my end for reasons, or it was just me. Either way, that still didn't work out. So, okay, that didn't work out. Be respectful about it. Just, you know, you go your way, I'll go mine. I still want you to eat, just not at my table. I still want you to have a good life, it's just not with me in it. And not with you in mine. It doesn't mean that I hold any ill will towards you. In most cases, there's a couple that, if we ever have a purge night, they better hope they don't see me on their door as soon as them sirens go off. Because I'm going to be in the bushes waiting. But, you know I'm not lying. That's why you're over there laughing. Because we've been friends for almost 10 years pretty soon.
True.
Me and Cody are about to be together for 9 years this August.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll be married for 5. So we're getting there.
Yeah, almost 10 years. I know.
Next year will be our decade. I'm excited for that. But no, with friendship stuff, I just really think that if more people were understanding, period, in their life, like with everything, just try to be a little bit more understanding with how you look at situations, stuff people say to you in relationships, in friendships, then maybe we would make it further being able to be friends in any situation.
Okay, so, like, far as, like, like, people in general, they go through their own ups and their own downs. How would you tell someone to be able to be understanding when someone makes it hard to understand because they don't want to communicate with it?
I mean, look, you can't help somebody that don't want help, bro.
That's true.
And that's with anything. If somebody's not willing to look at it again and understand, see, this is why I said that's such a big thing.
Yeah.
Because if they can't look at it and understand that you're coming from a place of love and trying to help them, then they're going to take it negative. And then what happens? Y'all end up not being friends then. Because you're really trying to help them and be there for them. And they're looking at it like, why does he think something's wrong with me? Fuck him. You know what I mean?
I understand. But it's just something that I was, like, kind of curious about because, like, I know that we all have our ups, we all have our downs, but the main thing I'll be trying to understand is just, like, when people are going through it in general, you know what I'm saying?
They shut the fuck down.
Yeah, they go into a shutdown moment,
Yeah.
and it's just like, they want us to understand whenever they're doing bad behavior, or, you know what I'm saying, they're doing things that is hard to, like...
They're doing dumb shit they shouldn't be
You
doing.
know what I'm saying? It's hard to be there for them, and it's hard to accept some of the things because you don't associate with some of the things that they do, too.
It's hard to accept a lot of things. And, like, a lot of situations, stuff that happens. To me, it's separate if you're in a couple than it is if you're single.
Sure.
Because if you're in a couple and you go through things that test your relationship and your friendships, because it's some shit that you did that you wish that you never would have, and that you could take back type shit, like, if you and your partner work through that, then it's up to your friends at that time to figure out if they're gonna stay by you or not.
Well,
Because, like, I've stuck by people for a really long time. I've helped people keep their marriages and stuff together, literally. Like, been the counselor type shit for both of them. They met at mine and Cody's house to talk. I found people's rings that have been thrown out in my front yard for them so they didn't lose them.
Yeah.
Like, anything I can do as a friend, I will do to help, if I can.
I find it kind of the
But
same way.
they still have to be willing to work that out. And if they are, then at that point, it's like, okay, they want to be together, but am I willing to accept those things because of our friendship?
Yeah.
Like, is the friendship, you look at it like that, like, is it worth it or not to try to be around them and see if they've really changed and give them a chance?
Yeah.
Because you got to be willing to give somebody a chance to prove that they're not going to be that type of person anymore and that they've changed, or you'll never know. And you got to decide if you're going to stick around to see that change, or if you don't want to risk them not changing and you being around that again.
Yeah.
Or being around a situation you don't want to be in. If they're not willing to compromise on situations with you, like, say, the partying thing you brought up earlier, if they're out partying all the time, you don't want to do that no more.
Yeah.
Okay, so say that was a situation that was going on with you. And like, me and Cody are always wanting to party. We don't want to do anything else, trying to hang out or spend no time. We're just kicking it, throwing down, having a good life. You know what I mean? And you're not trying to do all that. If you come to us and you tell us, like, look, it's nothing against y'all. I'm not trying to not be around y'all. I don't want to be around that. And we can't understand and accept that. Then automatically we're going to be like, well, you knew this is how we were, and you've been around this whole time, so why is it different now? And depending on how somebody looks at that, can depend on which way that conversation goes.
True.
Because then at that point, you have, like, it's all compromise and understanding on stuff. If you're not willing to compromise with your friends on stuff like that, and be willing to talk about it, and give them a chance to see how they feel, then it's not going to go anywhere anyway. You might as well give that shit up.
Actually, that's a good point.
Like, fuck it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to me, if we're friends for any length of time, and we don't work out as a friendship, for whatever reason it is, I still want you to do good. I still want love to find you. I still want you to be successful in your life. I still want your kids to be taken care of. I still want y'all to grow as a family and be, you know, perfect for what you want for yourself.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be such a bad, negative thing. I feel like people need to be like a little bit more understanding with it, and just try to get that it's just better sometimes. It's just like a relationship. If it's toxic and it's not working out, are you gonna stay in that?
That's the choice that people has to make.
See, that's what I'm saying. You gotta decide. You gotta weigh it all and look at it. And if you decide to walk away from that, it's not any different than walking away from a friendship.
Sure, and that's where I talk about, when I talk about accountability a lot of the time. A lot of people want to blame other people the reason why they're in the situation that they are.
I used to do that a lot. I used to do that a lot whenever, especially when I was younger, because I didn't give a fuck when I was a teenager. I was an asshole, and everybody will tell you, like, I looked out for my friends, made sure everybody was protected, but if I didn't like you, you knew it, and real quick. So I can't say anything about being like that when I was younger, but as I got older, it took a really, really long time for me to put in the work on myself personally to be able to grow as a person for me. And it's changed the way that I look at a lot of stuff now. Before, I would have been like one of those people I was talking about, that where they're like, no, I didn't do anything wrong in that situation. That's on you for how you feel about it. You know what I mean? But now I can even look at stuff that hurts my heart to think about with some of the friendships, and I still try to look at it from their side. And then to me, it's like, we were friends for so long and we had that love for so long, and for it to just be cut off like that, then obviously we weren't meant to still be friends. It was at that point where either you didn't want to be around me or I didn't want to be around you. You were stressing. One of us was stressing the other one out too much. Whatever it was, like, we had to walk away from that. So I want you to be good and happy in your life, but not in mine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if some of them came to me and said, hey, I understand that you weren't in a good place in your life and stuff just fucked up. Or if I was to do that with some other one that I'm that way with, you know what I mean? Because there's, like I said, I have both situations. So even if that was to happen, I would be like, look, I appreciate that and I do apologize for my part, but I just want you to be good in your life. I'm glad there's no animosity type shit, but I still don't want to try to further it. The reason for that is because obviously we didn't work out for a reason in that friendship. So I know me as a person, I'm not all that forgiving on some stuff. And if you cross those lines, I'm pretty firm on that. So it's hard because I can't see myself trusting a couple of them to be able to be like, oh, well, let's try this again. Because I feel like I would always wonder, are they just going to hurt me again? Because that hurts your heart. Like, if you have friends that you've been friends with for over more than, just a short span of time. And even ones that you just meet, sometimes you have like that friend care and love for them to want to make sure they're good and stuff, But to me, it's just like we were friends like that to where we were that close. And then all of a sudden it was just dead. So I'm not ever going to trust you. I'm always going to have that in my brain that you're going to be like, oh, it's whatever, and cut me off again over a small situation that we could have talked about like grown people. You know what I mean? But I'm guilty of it too, because I'm on the other end in some of those too. So where I'm the one that doesn't want to...
make amends on.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm the one holding the grudge still.
Yeah.
And I am doing the work. Like, I'm trying to get to where I can let all this stuff go, because it really just stresses you out more. You know what I mean?
It takes a lot more energy to hate someone.
It does.
To not trust nobody.
Than to not give a fuck.
Yeah. So,
I'm working on it. Most people are. It's not easy in every type of situation.
True.
When it's been over 10 years of knowing somebody type stuff, then that's something that you gotta be understanding. It's gonna take a little bit before somebody can just let that go, even if it's been a couple of years.
True. Like, it's always pretty dicey when it comes to the situation. It's hard to like get that perspective where you both can like understand like where each other's faults are and how can you move forward.
How can you accept it and keep going? Yeah.
I agree. Like, it's always been like something that's very like dicey even in my situation, because like I'm very firm. Like, when I wash my hands on you, like, my shit's permanent. It ain't no coming back when I
You
do
see
it.
me, I get like that too.
Yeah, like
how many people I done cut off that I even talk about?
Yeah, like it's just a tough situation for a guy like me. It's just like I learned that if I had the mindset that I have now when I was like 18, I think I'll be a lot further in life. Because even when I was young, I used to blame bull crap for the reason why I'm not this or I'm not that, when the only thing that was stopping me was me.
Yeah.
So when I figured that out, I was like, dang, so the only reason why I ain't a multi-millionaire is because I ain't putting multi-millionaire work in. The only reason why I ain't able to have a car is because I ain't putting no work in by working at a job to make this money, just because I have this pride issue, like I don't want to go flip no burgers, I don't want to cut no grass, you know what I'm saying, foolish things like that. And then it's just like, I know all the people that did put the work in, that did get successful, that did start making things happen, it's because they put in the work for what they wanted. And I thought of it just like, when it comes down to me wanting to get in shape,
my husband, y'all, I had to blow him a kiss back, sorry. You know Cody pops up around the corner whenever we're doing stuff just to mess with me, I swear.
But I don't know, it's just
my bad, bro.
No, you're good. It's just for me personally. It's just, I have to put things in a perspective of like, I used to be a fat fuck, and then I got myself in shape.
You need to stop being like that.
But I gotta, like, the difference is that for me as a man, I have to be brutally honest with myself.
Look, I understand, because we talked about that one day, about how you were brought up and you were raised and how it made you feel you had to be as a man.
Yeah.
But just because you were bigger, like, it's okay to be bigger, Qdell.
It's not.
You feel that way because you got fucked with so much about it that it made you be like,
No,
I need to switch it up and better myself. Or maybe, like you decided to try to be better.
The thing that I noticed though is that when I was a fat fuck, I wasn't getting the results.
Stop saying that.
It's just the
say
truth.
when you were bigger or something.
I was a fat
Don't
fuck.
say that.
I'm man enough to say it.
Look,
call myself what
I'll call
it
you
was.
roly-poly if you want.
Okay.
I got my little better rolls going on right now because I had surgery, so I'm gaining weight.
But see, the difference is that for men and women it's different. When men, we're pushed with reality from our friends. Our friends tell us that.
But stop and think about it though. What does the average woman that is wanted by a man look like?
Huh?
What is the average woman, like in general? You know how I said something about in our last episode that we did, I said something about if it would have been a different body shape that got pushed so much that stuff might be different. But it's that certain type of body shape that's been like out there so much. Like, so a lot of men and women, just like people in general, that's what's attractive to them.
That's fine.
So women have to put in that work to get that way, because a lot of women are like,
I understand.
Oh, I have to look like that.
But the thing is that if you ask any woman that was fat, that got herself in shape, she'll tell you that she feels 10 times better about herself than she did when she was fat. Yeah. So therefore, you got to think about
overweight, but we're getting there.
But you know what I'm saying? But think about it on a grander scale. Like what is the number one killer?
Because I've lost weight and stuff before. Obesity, heart attacks, high blood pressure.
What is the number one though?
I don't know. I don't look.
It's obesity.
I use Google when I have to.
Okay, I understand. Okay? But I'm just saying, obesity.
I'm not surprised.
If obesity is the number one killer, why are we not teaching young ladies to think of their health when they know that's the thing that's actually attractive?
I mean, okay, so nowadays they are more focused on that. But when we were coming up, and for a long time now, it hasn't been that way. So I get where you're coming from.
Okay, so.
But they're trying to push stuff on them now. Okay. But where was that ever?
But it has always been that way. It has never changed.
I mean, now in schools and stuff, it has. Because they took out vending machines and replaced them with nothing but healthy snacks. Their menus have changed. You have to be an educated person and understand that they've done things now.
When you were in school, who were the most attractive women in school? It was mainly what? Cheerleaders and football players. Basketball players.
I don't like jocks, kudo.
I'm not saying.
To me, I'm not saying the cheerleaders were not hot at all.
What I'm saying is, by the standards.
In general situation, yes.
That's what I'm saying. Like those.
The preppy kids.
Like however you want to put it, like.
Those are the preppy kids.
However you want to put it, like what I'm saying though is that when it came to attractiveness, it was always the football players, it was the jocks, it was the jocks that you talk about, and it was also cheerleaders, dance teams. It was women.
In all fairness, I talk shit about everybody.
Like that's fine. But the
I'm
women
an equal opportunist.
But the women that were in shape were their most attractive. You have never seen a fat girl like say a girl like Lizzo. They get shoes.
Why do you always use that as an
example? Because I can use Precious. I can go down the line.
Look, don't start hating on Precious. Your DMs are gonna get blown up, and people are gonna be like, "I'm gonna get you."
Well, they can try to get me, but at the end of the day, ain't no.
Look, obesity runs in my family too.
Mine too.
That's why I said too, because your family's my family too. Yes. Don't lie.
Okay, that's true.
But. Like, the whole thing is okay, one, there are a lot of genetic disorders.
Okay, only 15% of people.
Hold on. There are genetic disorders, so you have to acknowledge that.
15%.
There are health problems where people have broken stuff and surgeries that cause them to gain weight. And I only know this because I've seen it my whole life when I worked in healthcare.
Let's be honest.
And then the rest of it is people that don't want to do the work.
Look, let's be honest.
You have to do the work.
Only 15% of people in the United States have a genuine reason for being fat. The rest of them are period.
Yeah, but that's 15% out of a lot of motherfuckers.
Okay, 15% out of the men and women have actual reasons.
I know.
Like you was talking about the medical conditions.
That's what I'm
and all
saying.
Things,
like,
but majority.
I'm talking about people in everyday life, not all of America's population.
People in everyday life are mostly lazy. Like I can't make no.
Did you not hear me a minute ago when I said you have to do the work?
They don't want to do the work, so therefore you can't make no excuse for it.
My whole thing is okay. I'm guilty as fuck of ragging on somebody that's overweight, and you know it. You've heard me a million times. And don't be big and be going slow in front of me because I'm about to.
Go ahead.
I know I've gained some weight and I got thicker, but damn, y'all, put down the Krispy Kremes and pick up some vegetables. That's all I'm saying. Do the work. And I do the work, by the way. You can ask Cody. I have a blackberry addiction. I've been killing some fruits and vegetables though, for real, because I can't move around a lot, so I have to kind of be careful what I eat. So I eat small things.
Like I got about 20 people that I'm working with.
But some people, there are people in everyday life that have those problems, and we don't know for sure who, you know what I mean? Like if you run into somebody and they're on one of those little scooter things, you don't know if it's because of diabetes or a heart condition, or if it was from them being lazy and just not wanting to do it right off the bat. But if you're around them for a minute, you should be able to kind of tell the difference from how they
You
act.
show me a guy that was in shape at the beginning that got diabetes.